And welcome back to another episode of Total Control with Huesca. Now, in the last episode, we had a lot of set pieces, particularly corners, in the match against Almeria. And so I figured the best thing we could do would be to start off by having a look at corners. Because, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do now. So I've got kind of a vague idea of what I want to do, because it sort of just seems to be what generally works, like hitting the ball into this area here with some decently tall players, having a few players in this sort of area. This isn't actually what we're going to do, this is the default. This is what we're currently technically using. And then having a guy on the edge and then a decent number of players back to prevent any kind of ridiculousness. But we will be sending centre-backs up for corners because you just need to, really. Those are our tallest players. So, first thing we're going to have is, no matter who's here, they're going to be heading it to the far post. Ideally, I'd want an in-swinger, really. So we'll have to have a look at who takes it on the right-hand side based on that. In fact, let's just take a look at the corner takers to the right-hand side. We can see this now. So corner. Who's actually going to be in the team? Juanpi's left-footed, so I'd rather him not take them. Moy Gomez is right-footed. There's a decent number of... Well, actually, there's not that many right-footed players we've got in the squad, unfortunately. So maybe we might have to have Juanpi and Luisinho take some corners, unfortunately. But for now, if it was to be an in-swinger, what I'd really want is it to be aimed at probably our best header of the ball, which is Gallego here. But since I don't think he's going to play there all the time, I'd rather have one of the centre-backs there. Etzieta is slightly less jumping reach, and he's a little bit shorter, but he's got better heading and I believe better strength too. So I'm probably going to have him here, attacking the far post. We're going to have the striker in this area to sort of get in the way and also provide picking up those loose balls. Going to have the left-sided midfielder here, because generally speaking, it's going to be our worst long shot player that's going to be in the other role, so we want to make sure that he's not there. In fact, I might even put him back to just staying back. That's probably what we're going to go with. So we've got the fullbacks back and him back. We've got a guy on the edge of the area. We've got a few players that are going forward, a guy to aim the ball to then head that back across or get into this area here. I think that's kind of what I want to do. So that's probably what we're going to do. So we're going to save this, and then we'll do the exact same thing on the left-hand side, except we'll change the corner takers. I'm an idiot. I wanted left-sided players doing in-swingers on the right and right on the left. God damn it. Okay, so that's a huge error on my part. I need to switch that over. It's probably just going to have to be a similar sort of thing, unfortunately, maybe with some out-swingers. Just to see, that could still work. It's just I prefer the in-swingers. I might have the left-back come short. That way we've got an option to just change the angle slightly. Still have enough players back, in theory, unless they leave 3 up, which would be unlikely. Okay, gives us something to think about, to take into the next friendly and try out. For free kicks, again, far post just seems to be the thing to do. So we're going to do a similar kind of job here, except once again, be aiming for Etzieta instead and having him make a far post run, with the aim essentially to get that ball across to everybody else. Looking at this post-match analysis is probably going to tell us a little bit about these things as well. So Luisinho put in a good performance, and he won quite a few aerial challenges, which is surprising considering he's 5'7". Who was he competing against? So Gallego didn't get much of a chance to do anything, so maybe that's because of the role we were asking him to play. Okay, so it's Tuesday morning actually, because wow, it went 2 days when I didn't want it to. That's not ideal. Anyway, so recoveries in there, team bonding's in there. Is there anything I would like to add to this? So we've got some strugglers in training again, so we can have a look at that. I might take out one of these outfield ones and remove and add in some set pieces. Yeah, we're going to actually focus on set piece delivery here. And since this is going to be a very light day with recovering and team bonding, I might change the overall team one to something a little bit more, which might not be the end of the world, actually. It might really help us. Okay, so we're going to start getting in on these guys a little bit, because this is not good for training. I want to boost them up as much as I can, really. We've already spoke to him. I think if we can just stay on top of them, it could definitely help us. Though that also might indicate that some of the training schedules that we're using aren't quite lining up with what they want to be doing right now. Just looking as well at the training camp. Is actually, so Mattersburg is actually part of the training camp, which means really, I'd like another friendly in there too, to be honest. Just against the poorer team while we're out there, just to get some confidence in the players. Because I think that's quite important too, is winning games just breeds some confidence. And then in the next episode, we could do 2 games. Miero should be back soon. Okay, we've been drawn against Real Oviedo in the Copa del Rey, so that's fine. Where does that slot in? Because our first fixture is at home against Athletic, which is not going to be easy. Right. I think maybe we should now have a little look at mentoring. Since the club hasn't got anything set up right now, we need to have a little look-see at that one. So if you ask your assistant to assign, he just seems to pick stuff at random, or it certainly seems like that, unfortunately. So that's something perhaps we should probably not do. Right, so I don't really know what to call them, because I don't really know what I'm going to put in them just yet. Maybe just have an attack-based one and a defensive-based one for now. Because some of these personalities are interesting. For example, Camacho, he's a team leader and he's got a driven personality, which is really, really useful. So we definitely want him there because he'll have significant estimation. And he's got some solid PPMs as well. Well, curls ball. Okay, so what I'm kind of looking at here is I don't know if I actually want 5 other players added to this one. I'm just going to sort of wean them out to see who's actually that important to have here. Right, Yaya is our player, so we'll keep him in there. And Avia is on loan from San Lorenzo. Good God, guys. In that case, I might just have one unit here full of younger players, to be honest. It's a difficult one for me to work out because I do want to put some of these players in here. And I think I'm going to anyway because we've got so many loan players. And I guess we should probably put some of them in. More for the personality passing on than anything else. I know you're probably thinking this guy knows no idea what he's doing. I've been telling you for a while. This is how I figured this stuff out, basically, by doing and getting it wrong. Because what I would have liked to have done is had a set that's just for defenders and a set that's more for the attacking side of things. The problem is we've got so few players that our squad is so small at the moment that we don't really have enough room for that. I might get rid of Yaya from that, actually, and just let it be these guys here, because we've got some decent personalities in this amongst the terms of the influence. A couple of light influence players with balance. They're younger. They could take some tips on from these guys anyway, and they are attack-minded players, particularly like curls, ball, stuff like that. That could be quite useful. Now comes the part where I start to horrendously doubt myself. It's just because I'm so unused to dealing with all this extra stuff. I feel like I'm going to muck everything up, everything I touch. A scouting meeting has arrived. Hopefully it's actually got some players in it. Jamal Blackman, we do not need a goalkeeper. No, thank you. On a lot less money, though, so maybe offer him a trial. Young Cameroonian player. Where are our scouts? Okay, our scout has actually brought a player to us, but unfortunately he's a central defender, which is just not an area that we need players in right about now. I mean, I know he's interested, and it wouldn't cost that much, but he's just not a player that we need right now. Antonio Luna. Okay. Tackling solid, 5'10". He's not super tall, but he is actually at least a left back. Add him to shortlist. We're going to keep scouting him. Yaya Toure. I get the feeling that he probably wouldn't be that interested in us, and if he was, he'd probably want a lot of money. Although, he'd be a damn good player. Not a hard-working player, but a damn good one. Offer him a trial, just have to see. So there are a few players that would be interested potentially in loaning. One of them actually is Jose Angel here, over at Betis, but again, he's not super tall. But he would be a more rounded player, I would have thought, than Miramon, which would allow Miramon to maybe sit further up if we needed him there. We've got a Capo, though. He's far better at the attacking side of things, whereas the Capo is a much better defense. Well, not much better, but he's better, particularly in the tackle. Whereas Miramon is a similar story. In fact, if anything, Miramon is definitely better at the attacking side of things, no doubt about it. But his defensive game is just not there. Like, his tackling is poor, his marking is poor, by comparison anyway, and he's worse physically, and he's shorter. I wonder if we should maybe be trying to play a Capo as the right back instead. On the other hand, though, on the left-hand side, Jose Angel could well be quite an important one for us, potentially. Doesn't dive into tackles. He gets forward whenever possible, which might be an issue. But he is taller. He's better in the air than Luisinho. Luisinho is better at the technical and attacking side of things. That much we know. But he's worse in the tackle. He's worse at marking, passing, long throws as well. Long shots, not that that's super important. The only thing that he's really way worse on here is the finishing side of things. But that's not what we want from our left back anyway. To be a fullback on support, like, what's really important here? He seems to be, apart from maybe in this side of things, shading it. I might be tempted to put a loan bid in for him, and it would give us backup in that role anyway, because we really would struggle if Luisinho got injured, because Galan can play there, but he is really a winger, like complete out-and-out winger. I think that would be a solid piece of business, honestly. £4,600 a week to get Jose Angel. I think that would be a really good deal for us. It's not a lot of money, gives us a really solid player who's better for what I want to do in that role than Luisinho. They've accepted the loan deal, so that could be useful. Pre-match analysis, we know very little about them, although they have played a friendly against Girona, which they drew 0-0 and actually had a decent number of shots in. Went many down the right, very few down the middle at all. Because João Pedro has come on trial with us here. I don't think he's going to be much cop either, but hey, you never know. Add him to the training camp squad. Yaya Toure has also agreed to come on trial. Could be a very interesting sign, if he wants, not too much money. To bring him in for a year, to have those kind of attributes floating around our team for a season, might not be the worst thing in the world, in all honesty. Just to have that option in the midfield, as a playmaker potentially, or even as an attacking midfielder. He's got some really good attributes. Lacking a lot bit in the physicals, but the mental side of things and his actual technical stats are ridiculous. Yeah, there seems to be simply no reaction from the team about no matter what you say at the moment. Maybe one day we'll change this. Okay, training's definitely improved a little bit. Jose Angel is going to come on loan to us for the rest of the season. I think this is going to be a really decent signing. He won't be able to play today, but he'll definitely feature in the next friendly. Milero should be back in, and Yaya Toure. No, we'll maybe bring him off the bench just to see. Is he actually available? I think he is, you know. He is, yeah, okay, we'll give him a try today. On the right, I'm also going to start a Capo instead. So, few things we've learned. We've put some more stuff on these guys, basically, to slowly sort of mould them into what we want to do. I might try low crosses again, to be honest. We've got the new corner instructions and free kicks, which is good. Another important thing is we've got a lot of these players getting themselves much, much closer to match fitness now, which I think is definitely going to help us. We're going to have to rotate for the next friendly anyway, because it's going to be way too close in between. Analyst report does actually have some data for us. So they're heavy down the right, nothing through the middle, which is fine, because we're actually pretty all right. Most of our final third entries against us were through the middle, and if that's not where they're going to play, then this might actually work for us. was just slowly starting to mould ourselves towards attacking. And this is what I do every time I start a save with the preseason. I will just go through it methodically and slowly try to work things out. I'm very much paying attention today to see how we do from set pieces, both corners and free kicks. Now that we've actually got some setup on them, I'll be very curious to see how we do in a match environment with it, because I think that we were just missing a bit of direction in the last game. A Capo, I want to see how he does as well. Musto, Rivera. Musto could maybe get the cross in. Goes for a Capo instead. Miero. Go on, get inside another shot. Oh, nice. Juanpi goes long this time. Oh, and there we go. Back post ball. Etcheta makes it 1-0 to Huesca. That is what I'm talking about. Juanpi smashes one across. That was a bit fortunate the way that goes straight in there. But he was completely unmarked practically, and he's able to score us a goal and give us the lead in a friendly. The first goal we've scored for a little while. That's nice to see that coming off. And we've got the lead. Right, that's much more like it. But I do still want to keep us working on the attacking side of things and actually scoring goals not from set pieces. We can't rely on that all season. But at least if we can get one mechanism working nicely, then we can start to build towards the others. That's really important. See, the thing is, when they get the ball in this area, we've got so many players in front of them that we're just allowing them to have the ball. And that's all right, really. I'm starting to wonder if maybe our centre mids could be doing a bit more pressing. Not the entire team, but just those sort of front players doing a bit more pressing. And just because we don't need that many players sitting behind the ball, because they're going to play the same kind of attacking roles anyway. And I do wonder if that's something we could look at in the second half, maybe. Because I think we're surrendering too much possession off of them when perhaps we don't really need to. Like, defensively, we look very, very solid. But I would like... Oh, here we go. Juanpi. Whips one back post. Punched away. Jano. Good block. Gallego could go here. Right, here we go. Breakaway time. Maybe we can finally catch them on the counter. Gallego goes past one. Got to find someone. He's fine. Gaya! And it's 2-0. We've caught them on the break. We're 2-0 up. That's actually a really decent piece of counter-attacking play. How can we engineer more opportunities like that? The possession's really come back over the past few minutes. Gallego, this is great work from Eric Gallego, to go past one player here, set himself up. If anything, he takes this across a little bit too early, but it doesn't matter because Gaio's at the back post, coming in, thunderous effort from him, and we're 2-0 up over Mattersburg. It's been a tight game so far, but we're 2 up now. That's better. And even better for me is that one of them was a counter-attacking goal and one of them was a set piece. That is what I expect to see us scoring goals for this season. So to see 2 of them today is very, very encouraging. But I do think there's ways we can maybe become even stronger with a little bit more of a press. So maybe just hounding the players in this area a little bit more. This area, let them do what they want, but just press them a little bit higher in this area. Okay, half time. We've got a lot more possession coming towards the end of the half. We've got a goal from a set piece and a goal from a breakaway, which is good. I think what it could come down to is the fact that we haven't actually set up opposition instructions. And I wonder if maybe that could be something we could try. So what I'm going to do is have us just mark up their striker like crazy. Tackling and show onto the foot for these guys, because I don't want us to be tight marking and pressing them, because obviously that means we'll get dragged out towards them as if we were playing a wider defensive line. And also just pressing their goalkeeper, which will only really allow Gallego to do that. I might, although I don't know how well this is going to work, just put the standard line of engagement for the second half with get stuck in, just to get them a little bit more in their face. But I'm encouraged by what I've seen, but I want us to create a few more opportunities. Although that being said, the chances we have created have been of decent quality today, which is a good sign. But I don't know how Mattersburg rank up against some of the other teams, and it could also be that that is a factor. Gruber whips one in. Ooh, actually, they've managed to get a header from a corner there, but we did deal with it. I'm starting to think that perhaps a more concerted distribution approach from the goalkeeper could definitely be something to look at now, because I haven't really seen a lot of our sort of goal kick situations, and it seems that it's just kind of been a bit aimless so far. Good block. I also think that us being a bit more reserved with our pressing game is going to definitely allow us to conserve energy. So what I might start messing around with now is the transition phase. Just having them drop it out here, because I just don't think we're going to be able to get it to the playmaker quick enough to actually make that work for us. Yano, blocked. Very, very interesting now. You can see from the distribution that how lopsided they are and how much space our centre-backs are going to have to get the ball, which should... Oh dear, he's lost the ball, but he's won it back again. Allow us to just get a little bit more possession rather than just conceding it to them straight away from kickoff. A Capo. Ball in. Gallego! Good save. Better. The possession's definitely improved, which is a good sign. Hart again out wide. Whips the cross in. Oh! They actually managed to get the header on target that time. Jovanovic. Again, loads and loads of space at the back for us to just play the ball out a little bit more. Jose Angel. Yaya Toure. Gayan. Goes through a few. Back for Jose Angel. I wish I had Luisino on the bench. For some reason he wasn't. Here we go. Angel getting round. Another corner. To be fair, we've only won 5 corners in this game, which is a bit low. Well, there we go. 2-0. Like, in terms of actual shots in this game, we were definitely picking our moments, it's fair to say. The possession definitely improved as we started playing out from the back. So I definitely think that's not playing out from the back, but having that option for distribution, I definitely think helped. The defenders were some of the best players on the pitch. Gallego was better. I can see things starting to emerge. Just have to bear with me. In terms of this side of stuff, I like the higher tempo play. I do. I think that works for us. I do wonder about passing into space, though, because that, again, might be letting us lose the ball more than we need to. In terms of distribution, I do want to switch to this, though, and I think I want to keep that as it was. We looked better in the first half with that, so I might leave that how it was. And we do want to be using opposition instructions. Okay, so things have been definitely improved. We scored a goal from a set piece, which I think came directly as a result of us actually having some instructions there, and we scored a goal on the counter-attack, which is good. We just need to make sure that we make the most of those opportunities when they arise. Next episode is going to be a double friendly, because we've got some midweek stuff in there too. There'll be plenty more things in there as we try to get through this a little bit more now. Now that we've kind of got a bit more of a basic idea of where we want to be heading, I think that's kind of what we're going to go for heading forward. I'm looking at, well, we can talk about this in the next episode, but I think Yaya Toure might well be an option for us. I might well start him in the next friendly and see how things go with him in there too. Because again, we look pretty solid defensively against Mattersburg. They didn't really create anything of note. Oh, it's hard to tell though, because we don't know where they are. Like a team like Mattersburg, they're in the 3rd tier in Germany, which is it's a decent level, but we should be beating them, and we did, which is at least something. We've not actually conceded a goal yet in pre-season, which is interesting to note. The defensive side of things looks pretty solid. I do want to schedule some games against better teams, though, coming up as well, though. Like a really decent, better than us team in La Liga, just to see how we do defensively coming up to the season. So, if you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope you have, even though it is moving in fairly slow process right now, it'll be more exciting, of course, once we get into the season. But I actually think that this is pretty interesting stuff, too, as we actually slowly go about building this team up for the start of the season. So if you've enjoyed it, drop a like, that'd be awesome. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe, that'd be brilliant as well. And I'll join you guys in the next episode, where we're going to do a double live con, if you like, against FC Turin and, of course, Toure in a pair of matches that will I don't know where these guys rank. I mean, we know Turin are a pretty poor team. Toure, okay, so they're a 3rd tier in Spain kind of team. So a couple of easier games to maybe try and be a bit more expansive. Maybe try out that other tactic with 2 strikers to see how we do. Switch to it at half-time maybe. We've got to get all this stuff done before the start of the season, but there's going to be a lot of tweaking once we get going. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.